Hello, I'm JW, and this time we have a piece of test equipment to look at, and it's not a very impressive piece of test equipment. It's actually this item in the box, the Mighty Meter, which is for domestic electrical testing, it says, and it's still in its original box. Well, it's a bit tatty around the edges, but let's have a look and see what's inside. Now, this item was obtained for virtually nothing, and that's probably a good thing because I don't expect it to be particularly high quality. And as you see, it's in its original box. There's the picture on the front of the offending item fitting into somebody's hand, and it says domestic electrical test meter, and it's also repeated on the side there. On this end we've got battery operated for use in the home, garage and garden, identifies most electrical faults safely and easily. Well, it remains to be seen. Every set comes complete with a pump action test probe and easy to read instruction booklet, and it's in a white clean high impact plastic case. Battery is not included. And the other end, a little picture there, and it says manufactured in the United Kingdom, would you believe? Yes, that shows you how old this is. It's not made in China, actually made in the UK. Now, I have no idea whether it actually works, so inside we've got this rather dubious warning, so if you connect it to the main supply, well, it's goodbye. Polystyrene, of course, for the packaging, and here's some sort of probes here. And as you can see, the fairly common problem with the polystyrene in contact with PVC insulation, and of course what's happened is the plasticizer has leaked out, and basically they've stuck to the polystyrene and kind of degraded and disintegrated in a rather disgusting fashion. You can't repair this kind of damage, unfortunately, and this is what happens to mains wiring if you shove it through polystyrene insulation as well. Anyway, this is presumably the pump action test probe there, which sort of pokes out the end and doesn't have a hook or anything on it. It's just literally exposed or not. Seems rather odd. Plug at this end is just on sort of 2-pin thing, which says not mains plug, meter plug only. And then the other one, the black one, just has a little crocodile type clip on there, so that's all very well. Now let's have a look at the thing itself. So it's in this orange plastic case, sort of black on the back there, and again you've got that doubtful warning about do not connect to the main supply because it will be killing yourself if you did. Not too bad, I've got some orange bits on the end. And then at the bottom here we've got the, I presume this is an instruction book. So, yeah, that's basically it for the box. I presume there's no money hiding underneath or anything. No, unfortunately not. So here we've got the rather strangely shaped instruction book. Oh, and it even comes with some handwritten instructions from its previous owner. I'll look at them in a minute. So here's the things what we've got here. There's the lead and the mains socket test plug. So presumably, right, that just pulls out of there, and then you can plug it in. Mains tester 250 volts. So presumably something would light up. Well, we'll try that later as well. Well, that's just a storage hole in there. It doesn't presumably do anything. So we've got all the parts, and the instructions seem to have these little flow charts of whatever. Testing fuses and light bulbs, testing for continuity, testing continuity of appliances. That's only going to apply to class 1 items, I would have thought, with an earthed casing, which of course means that 99% of stuff these days won't apply. Testing the mains, oh yes, with that plug it in job. Checking batteries of the SP11 variety. Yes, and checking the battery in your car. That seems unlikely. Toys with motors and Christmas tree lights. That will be in the horrendous type where they're wired in series. So you've got sort of 20 12-volt lamps wired into series and then shoved onto the 240-volt main supply. Steam iron from the 1970s, which is probably when this thing was made. And you can check it itself and put batteries in it. Now, it doesn't appear to have any date on it, which is quite disappointing. I've just got a code there, which is JF77 306 123, which 1977 maybe, or maybe not. But anyway, let's see what we've got. And first thing, of course, is it obviously needs some kind of batteries. So let's see what type it needs. Well, it looks like AA batteries, so we'll probably find some of them and put them in there. Let's just see if we can find the instruction part. Right, it's powered by two HP7 batteries housed in the back compartment. Right, well, I'll go until I can find some of them, and then we'll see if it actually works. Well, it appears that HP7 batteries are in fact AA, so let's get some of those and let's shove them in the relevant place. So somebody one in there and one in there. There's the rather dubious soldering down the bottom there. Well, doesn't really give you much confidence in the quality of it. Right. Right, so off and on at the top. The red light turns on, so I suppose that's a start. Now, do we dare use these disgusting, completely wrecked leads here? So, assuming this plugs into the front here. Oh yes, continuity, 3 volt and 15 volt. So, how annoying! The pins are actually a slightly different size, so you can only put it in one way round, so it won't go that way. It will go that way. So if we turn it on and connect these two ends, presumably it will, yes, it moves the little meter there to the continuity position. Well, that's a start. Let's just have a quick look at the instructions and see if that's actually what's supposed to happen. Yeah, that's what it basically says on the blue page there. So you just shove them together and it moves over to that continuity position. And presumably the rest of it is going to be the same sort of deal. Oh yes, for your Christmas tree lights, you're supposed to remove each bulb and check continuity on the bulb test contacts. And as there's 20 in a set, you know it's going to be bulb number 19 or something that you actually tested with it. So there we go, we've got 3 volt and a 15 volt range. So presumably we can test a battery with it on the 3 volt range. Here's a battery. Obviously it's brand new, so it should work. So we'll just stuff that on the end and then stuff this here. Yeah, there we go, 1.5. Well, it's between the 1 and the 2, so 1.5 volts, that seems sensible. And then presumably likewise for the 15 volt section there. And we've got some sort of fuse test here, which presumably means you can put something between them and it will... oh yes, same deal with the continuity. Also check things in your car. Well, that's a toy car, of course, but check things in your car on that page. Check the voltage of the battery. Yeah, that goes up to 15 volts, so let's try that on the bench supply here. Well, that's set to 12, so we should see 12 volts when we stuff it in there. Yep, that works. How does it deal with reversed polarity then? Oh, I see, it tries to stub the needle back down the wrong way. Well, yeah, that's fairly to be expected, I suppose. Little knob there for the zero adjust, although it doesn't seem to do a great amount there. And presumably you can plug stuff in there and it will check those as well. So checking batteries, we've done that. Checking continuity of appliances. Now here's the page about checking continuity of appliances, and this is hilarious. It says when an appliance is being tested, only a safe 3 volt DC current is passed through the appliance. This voltage may not be enough to show a breakdown in the circuit under installation, which would occur under mains voltage. Well, yes, you could say that, because 3 volts is going to do absolutely nothing. And essentially you plug in your appliance into the socket on the front, and it will then tell you whether there's a short from the earth to the other ones. And quite frankly, if that were the case, then your fuse would have already been destroyed and the appliance wouldn't work anyhow. So not going to be desperately useful in identifying a fault there, other than to tell you it's broken. Of course, you would already know that. Now I've got these rather nasty handwritten instructions here on the back of an envelope to test a night light. So it's just connect between the line and neutral pins on a plug. If night light is okay, needle on meter will not move. If moved slightly, the night light is faulty. And then do some other tests. So you're just basically checking the continuity of the lamp inside the night light. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get inside and see what we can find in here. Now it's just got 2 screws there and there, so hopefully we can undo those. Let's just remove the batteries as well before we go there. Although it seems the batteries are fairly well wedged in. Keep those because they're brand new, not used. So anyway, just got the screws here and this one here, which appears to have seized. There we go. Now I don't expect that there's going to be a whole lot of stuff in this. Yeah, look at that, threaded directly into the plastic housing. Superb quality, made in Britain, of course. This is going to be the same at the top. Yep, threaded straight in, and it's taking out half of the plastic casing with it. Right, let's see what we have. Well, look at this 1970s goodness. So into a closer look here. So at the bottom here we've got that 3-pin plug arrangement with just the bent bits of metal as contacts there, the line, neutral and earth. Yeah, got that little set of contacts there, which are just the 2 studs for the fuse continuity. Again, just all wired in here with these bits of random wire there. Again, the same with the other contact in the middle there. And the sockets there, and on the back of this rather horrendous circuit board with 3 tons of solder applied to each one, and a little adjuster there for the meter, presumably that's the maximum point rather than the minimum. Press button, battery connects here to the black one, and the red goes the red goes here actually, and then apparently goes up underneath up to the switch. And then all we've got at the top here is just that little meter movement, a little resistor going across to the LED there, so just to limit the current, and the switch at the top. And again, those screws just bite into the plastic at the top there, and again down here in the middle. And as we thought before, the plug-in mains part, it's just literally stored here. There's no actual connection to it. It's just purely a convenience factor. And the other half of the case, again, just black plastic, battery compartment there with the strap across the 2 terminals at the end, and then the positive and negative wires from the top. And that's pretty much it. So certainly not a huge amount there. Notice the nice textured finish on the back here, sort of certain speaker cabinets used to be covered in that kind of texture surface, possibly still are. So there we go. So a fairly simple device inside. The wires here, of course, are totally destroyed because of the polystyrene issue. Fairly common, so if you've got any old electrical stuff in polystyrene packaging, always put it inside a polythene bag first, because otherwise this is precisely what happens. And that just leaves this mains tester here with the 2 presumably neon indicators there, so let's see if that works. Now, according to the instructions, it's basically going to be one of these neon testers, the slightly better ones of which have the 3 neons in, but this for some reason only has 2, so even more useless than the usual ones. And basically you shove it into the socket, and it's got 3 possible options here: left, right and nothing. If the left one is showing, then the power's on and the earth is disconnected, or that live and neutral are reversed. If neither of them are showing, then basically there's no power. And if the right one shows, then the power's on and the neutral's disconnected. So there we go. So let's just see if it does in fact actually work. Well, there we go. The 2 neons illuminate, and this is properly wired, so really what we would expect. So there you go, nasty little neon tester from the 1970s. Rather bizarre that it's only got 2 on it when, say, normally they would have the 3, which even then, surely they were available back then. It's hardly a new and novel design to have the 3 little neon indicators and a few resistors inside. So that was the mighty meter. a fairly dubious piece of testing equipment, although it probably did have some purposes at some point in the past, but again, it's not a particularly wonderful item. Nevertheless, there it is, and until next time, thanks for watching.